What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I'm so excited for this one because I'm going to give you all 10 underrated JRPGs that I think everyone should play. Maybe they didn't get enough of a marketing push at launch. Maybe reviews were mixed. For whatever the reason is, these JRPGs on this list did not get a fair shake, so I'm excited to shine some light on some games that I thoroughly enjoyed. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what your favorite games are that you feel may not have gotten the love or attention they deserved. With all that said, I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's jump right into the games. First up, I have Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. This is one that I didn't really have on my radar until last year when I was looking for something new to play, and I'm really glad I gave this one a shot. One of the game's greatest strengths is its combat system. This combat system blends some real fast-paced action mechanics with classic dungeon crawling elements. The game features real-time battles that require you to master this dodging and combo attacks and elemental weaknesses. Each character has a unique fighting style and elemental affinity, encouraging you to experiment with different team compositions. The game's dungeon designs are actually really cool. They require you to really utilize platforming skills, and they'll test your puzzle-solving abilities. The smooth and rewarding combat mechanics make each encounter feel really enjoyable, and the variety of enemy types kept me interested. Another highlight of Tokyo Xanadu is its narrative and story. Set in a modern-day Tokyo-inspired city, the game follows a high school student as he becomes entangled in this supernatural conflict involving mysterious shadow realms known as the Eclipse. The story blends slice-of-life elements with deep lore and emotional character arcs. As a Persona fan, I was immediately drawn to this, and while not quite executed at the same level as Persona games, it's still a ton of fun. Despite its many strengths, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus didn't quite get the recognition that I feel that it deserved. For JRPG fans, this game offers an experience that blends action, exploration, and narrative depth in a really unique way. The game provides a fresh take on modern fantasy storytelling while delivering fun combat and interesting world building. Fans of Falcom's other games, or those who are just looking for something they may have glossed over, will find this game to be a rewarding and underrated experience. Tales of Grace's F is admittedly one that I passed over during its initial release despite being a huge fan of the Tales series. I dismissed it as a game that just wasn't really my style, but the recent remaster motivated me to jump in, and man, what was I missing out. This game is so much fun and I adore all the characters. The bright and colorful aesthetic is super deceiving because this game has plenty of twists and turns that will have you on the edge of your seat wondering how things got so dark so quickly. One of the Tales of Grace's F's standout features is got to be its combat system. Unlike previous Tales games, it utilizes this style shift linear motion battle system, allowing you to seamlessly switch between different combat styles mid-battle. This system provides a fast-paced, fluid combat experience that rewards strategic thinking and super precise execution. Another defining element of this battle system is the chain capacity (CC) system, which replaces the traditional technical points mechanic. Instead of managing a resource pool for special attacks, each action costs CC, which regenerates over time. This change creates a dynamic kind of ebb and flow to the combat that I hadn't seen before in a Tales series, and it encourages you to kind of balance the offense and defense effectively. Once you get into the swing of things, you kind of feel on top of the world after some of these boss fights. Despite its strengths, Tales of Grace's F did not receive the same level of recognition as other Tales games, from myself included. Some players were initially put off by its more lighthearted tone compared to other entries in the series. However, beneath its cheerful exterior lies a deeply emotional and engaging story that resonated with me as I became heavily invested in the characters and their journeys. This is a game nobody should miss out on. Definitely play Tales of Grace's F. This is one I did a full 180 on. You can check out my most disappointing JRPGs video. I'll link it in the video here, and you'll see I was initially put off by this game. I went back to it recently though with an itch to play an action JRPG, and I fell in love with it. Just clicked the second time around. I don't know what it was. This is easily one of the most underrated and slept on games in the Final Fantasy series and just in general right now. Rather than a straightforward remake, Stranger of Paradise serves as a dark and unconventional retelling of the first Final Fantasy game. You will assume the role of a warrior obsessed with destroying chaos who embarks on a journey with his companions to rid the world of darkness. The narrative is layered with hidden depth, exploring themes of destiny and free will. As the story unfolds, the game recontextualizes classic Final Fantasy lore in really unexpected and compelling ways. With its intense combat and demanding difficulty, Stranger of Paradise caters to those who enjoy a challenge. Much like Nioh or Sekiro, mastering the game requires patience, precision, and adaptability. The job system allows for extensive customization, rewarding those who experiment with different builds and strategies. For those who find the difficulty daunting, multiple difficulty settings are there to ensure that people of all skill levels can enjoy the game at their own pace. Despite its strengths, Stranger of Paradise faced an uphill battle for recognition. Its marketing campaigns struggled to convey the game's depth, and its early trailers were met with skepticism due to their unusual tone and presentation. Additionally, in my opinion, the game's seemingly simplistic dialogue and kind of unconventional protagonist led some to dismiss it as like maybe unintentional comedy rather than an ambitious and layered experience. Personally, I love this game, even after initially not liking it, and I think if you give it a shot, you may enjoy it as well. Live Alive is one of the best remakes in existence, and I believe that with all my heart. It truly is incredible how they brought this classic game to modern audiences and made it feel like it could stack up well against anything released today. There's still nothing like it out there, and I feel like it kind of came and went for whatever reason. Not enough people are talking about Live Alive, and it's disappointing to me. Unlike traditional JRPGs that follow a single narrative, Live Alive presents multiple independent stories set across different time periods and genres. You can experience tales ranging from prehistoric adventures to futuristic sci-fi and everything in between. Each of these offer unique characters, settings, and gameplay mechanics. This anthology-type format allows for creative storytelling and provides a fresh experience with every chapter. The combat system is also a highlight. It utilizes a really unique grid-based tactical RPG style, and it kind of blends this turn-based combat system that takes in positional strategy. It's hard to describe, but once you jump in there, you'll be like, yeah, I know what he was saying. Each character has unique abilities suited to their era, encouraging you to experiment with different approaches. And the variety in combat mechanics overall ensures that no two chapters feel exactly the same. Despite its innovative structure and engaging gameplay, Live Alive remained obscure for decades due to its Japan exclusive release. However, with the HD 2D remake, new players now have the opportunity to experience its brilliance. I mean, this game's unique style of storytelling, overall artistic presentation set it apart from conventional JRPGs and make it a must-play for any fan of the genre. Definitely get out there and play Live Alive if you haven't played it yet. I haven't played many indie games that have caught my attention in the same way Crosscode did. It's such a cool and unique take on classic JRPGs, and even with many of my fellow content creators singing its praises, I still feel it hasn't received the recognition it deserves. Crosscode stands out as a masterfully crafted action JRPG that has flown under the radar for many players. This 16-bit inspired title blends fast-paced combat, intricate puzzle solving, and deeply emotional narrative that create an experience reminiscent of classic SNES era RPGs while incorporating modern gameplay mechanics. Despite its brilliance, Crosscode remains as one of the most underrated indie RPGs of recent years. One of Crosscode's defining strengths is its seamless integration of action-packed combat and intricate puzzle solving, like I mentioned before. The game features a fast-paced battle system that requires precise movement and quick reflexes. You will take control of a silent protagonist with the ability to launch projectiles and execute melee attacks in a highly dynamic combat environment. The variety of enemies and bosses, each requiring different tactics, ensures that combat never becomes repetitive. I mean, some of these encounters are absolutely insane, and just roaming around the different areas and taking out enemies is a ton of fun. Despite its critical acclaim and positive reception from players, I don't think that Crosscode has quite received the widespread recognition that I think it should have. Those who take the time to play Crosscode will discover an experience that rivals and in many ways surpasses some of the biggest games out there right now. This next title might surprise quite a few people, and it's Final Fantasy XIII. This game is widely considered one of the lesser entries in the series, but I really do love it, and looking back on my time with it, I've got some really fond memories with this one. The characters stuck with me, and while it takes a bit to get going, the story and soundtrack are just so incredible. Final Fantasy XIII released in 2009 for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and it remains one of the most divisive titles in the franchise. While it was criticized for its linearity and unconventional mechanics, the game also introduced an innovative battle system, a compelling story, and stunning visuals that still hold up today in my opinion. One of the best features of Final Fantasy XIII is its battle system. The game introduced the paradigm shift system, a fast-paced combat mechanic that requires you to change your party's roles on the fly. Unlike traditional turn-based combat, this system focuses on dynamic strategy, forcing you to adapt to evolving battle conditions in real time. I think the design of the game is extremely well crafted in that it takes advantage of these new mechanics and forces you to get creative with how you approach different battles. The narrative in Final Fantasy XIII is another divisive element, but it is also one of its greatest strengths. The story explores themes of fate, free will, and defiance against predetermined outcomes. Lightning, the game's protagonist, is one of the most complex characters in all of Final Fantasy. Her evolution from a cold and distant soldier to a leader who deeply cares for her comrades is super compelling. The supporting cast, including characters, each have well-developed arcs that add emotional weight to the overall journey. The primary criticisms against Final Fantasy XIII, its linear structure and its early hours, really were an overall detriment to its success. Unlike previous entries that offered expansive overworld exploration, Final Fantasy XIII guides you through a more structured experience. However, this design choice allows for a focused and cinematic narrative, ensuring that the story and character development remain at the forefront. If you were put off by all the negativity surrounding this one, I hope I've nudged you to go back and give it a try. I Am Setsuna is a special game to me. It's one that I really connected with at the launch of the Nintendo Switch. See, I loved Breath of the Wild like everyone else, but I wanted something else to play on the new console alongside that game, and I Am Setsuna was the one I picked up and took a shot on. I'm really glad I did this because this is a game that has stuck with me over the years and remains one of the best memories I have with what is now my favorite console of all time. I Am Setsuna stands out as a heartfelt tribute to the golden age of JRPGs. Developed by Tokyo RPG Factory and published by Square Enix, I Am Setsuna captures the spirit of classics like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI while carving out its own identity. Despite its evocative storytelling, beautiful presentation, and engaging combat system, the game remains underappreciated. And when I talk to a ton of friends of mine, the vast majority of them haven't even given it a try, and I hope to sway anyone on the fence about this one in the right direction here. One of I Am Setsuna's most striking aspects is its deeply emotional narrative. The game follows the journey of Setsuna, a young woman chosen to be sacrificed in order to bring peace to her world. Accompanied by a group of warriors, including a silent protagonist, she embarks on a somber pilgrimage toward her inevitable fate. The story is filled with themes of sacrifice, duty, and acceptance of one's destiny. Unlike many RPGs that offer grandiose tales of heroism, I Am Setsuna presents a more intimate and sorrowful experience. This story gets really dark, and it kept my interest throughout the entire playthrough. It also had me thinking about it long after I was finished. Despite its strengths, I Am Setsuna did not receive the widespread recognition upon its release. Some critics pointed to its lack of variety in environments and its limited innovation compared to modern RPGs. However, these aspects are intentional design choices that contribute to the game's thematic consistency and nostalgic charm. If you are seeking a deeply emotional story, refined turn-based combat, and a beautiful soundtrack, I Am Setsuna offers a unique and unforgettable experience. Ni no Kuni, like many of the games on this list, is incredibly unique and stands out as something very different. Sure, it shares some similarities to other series out there, but its story and art style are completely original and truly incredible. At the core of Ni no Kuni is an emotionally rich story that follows Oliver, a young boy who embarks on a journey to save his mother after a tragic accident. Oliver travels between this world and the parallel realm of Ni no Kuni, uncovering a tale of loss and hope. The storytelling of Ni no Kuni is exceptional. It's infused with Studio Ghibli's signature charm and emotional depth. If you've watched their movies, then you know what you're in for in terms of writing, storytelling. The characters are well developed, and their struggles resonated with me on a personal level. Whether it's Oliver's determination, Drippy's comedic relief, or the memorable allies he meets along the way, the narrative remains engaging from start to finish. One of Ni no Kuni's biggest draws is its stunning art direction. Studio Ghibli's involvement is evident in the hand-drawn animations, vibrant environments, and beautifully designed character models. Every location feels like a painting brought to life. I love it, and it holds up so well even today. Despite its brilliance, Ni no Kuni has often been overshadowed by more mainstream JRPG franchises. Some people may have overlooked it for whatever reason. However, those who have taken the time to experience this game will find a deeply rewarding journey filled with heart. I will sing the praises of Tokyo Mirage Sessions every chance I get. This game is so incredible and unique. If you are a fan of RPGs and haven't given this game a shot, then you are absolutely missing out. Take some of the best elements of Persona, SMT, and Fire Emblem and combines them into a story that I've never seen. All this makes for one of the most memorable games I've played in recent memory. First glance, the combination of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei may seem like an unusual pairing. However, Tokyo Mirage Sessions successfully merges elements from both series, creating a fresh and engaging combat system. The game incorporates SMT's turn-based battle mechanics while integrating Fire Emblem's signature weapon triangle and character classes. The result is a combat system that is strategic, fast-paced, and highly rewarding. One of Tokyo Mirage Sessions' most striking aspects is its colorful and energetic aesthetic. The game is set in a modern-day Tokyo infused with a dazzling J-pop idol culture, which is reflected in its character designs, locations, and just overall presentation. The game's visuals are vibrant with an anime-inspired art style, which I am always a fan of, and that perfectly complements its overall upbeat tone of the game. Despite its strengths, Tokyo Mirage Sessions struggled to gain widespread popularity, largely due to its initial release on the Wii U. Additionally, some fans of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei may have been hesitant to embrace its kind of idol-themed aesthetic, expecting a more traditional crossover. Those who give the game a chance will find an expertly crafted JRPG with deep combat, charming cast, and a distinctive setting that sets it apart from other games. It's now on the Switch, so there's absolutely no excuse not to give this game a try. Baten Kaitos is next up on the list, and another game that completely went under the radar for me. Once the game was remastered and announced for the Nintendo Switch, I decided to give it a try, and man, what a truly unique experience. One of the most distinctive features of Baten Kaitos is its battle system, which revolves around Magnus cards rather than traditional turn-based mechanics. You will engage in fast-paced battles by selecting cards that dictate your actions, including attacks, defenses, and item usage. This main challenge comes from managing deck compositions, timing card selections, and understanding elemental strengths and weaknesses. I did not expect this going into the game and was pleasantly surprised at how well executed it was. Despite being a GameCube title, Baten Kaitos boasts some of the most visually stunning pre-rendered backgrounds in any JRPG. It holds up so well today and looks really good on the Switch. The hand-painted environments give each location a unique and vibrant feel, immersing players in a world filled with beauty and wonder. Despite its brilliance, Baten Kaitos never reached mainstream popularity. One reason for this may have been its exclusivity to the GameCube. Additionally, the game's unorthodox battle system may have deterred players expecting a more traditional experience, but for those who appreciate innovation in game design, Baten Kaitos offers an experience unlike any other. It combines deep storytelling, strategic gameplay, and just incredible artistry into a package that stands the test of time. The release of Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster for the Nintendo Switch has provided a new opportunity for everyone, myself included, to discover this hidden gem. Anyway, that's it for me in this one. There's so many great games out there that didn't get the recognition or attention they deserve. If there's a game you have in mind, then please be sure to leave it down in the comments below. Also, let me know, what do you think of the games in this list? Have you played them, or did they fly under the radar like they did for me for some of these? Before I say goodbye, I do want to mention that my good friend Retro Brandon and I have started a new podcast called Level Up Legacy. We are having a ton of fun, and the first couple of episodes are up now, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate all your support. I'll catch you all in the next one, so until next time, I'm out.